Why does nobody sell colorful leather laces? I don't know either. That's why we tracked down the suppliers of the lace makers of some of the highest quality, most durable boots in the entire world. I was like, hey, what if you made some color laces for us? I want to customize my boots. They're trimmable. Leather's better for laces anyways because it has a little bit of stretch. It breaks in over time. They flex as you move rather than being super tight throughout the day. They don't melt if you're welding, and they just look cooler. This is not a monkey boot, even though everyone thinks this is a monkey boot. These are the real monkey boots. And half of these you can't even buy anymore. The other half are limited stock, limited inventory. It's one of the boots that's kind of been lost to the sands of time, but I felt like it was about time to bring it back. So in preparation for our Goral collaboration on our monkey boots, we're gonna cut every single one of these in half, run through all of our tests from the historical to the modern to really figure out the truth about monkey boots. But first, before we even get into it, what is a monkey boot? Because like I said, a lot of people think this is a monkey boot, and I think it still is. I think there's nothing wrong with calling that style of boot a monkey boot, but you might notice Solivare monkey boot, you've got this quarter panel that comes down to the toe and then is seamed in right there with an overlay panel, versus the real monkey boots. It's almost like a hole cut boot, but made more affordably. Because if you've never heard of a hole cut boot, it's where the whole boot is cut out of one single piece of leather that starts at the back, wraps all the way around and back to the back. Because if you look at, once again, tonally matching, this Danner mountain boot, which is one of the coolest boots in history, this is nearly a hole cut boot. Because you see it's seamless, wraps all the way around the toe, no seams, and then wraps all the way back to the heel again. Technically it's not a hole cut because of this panel, but it illustrates the point. And the benefits of a hole cut boot is you don't have any heavy seams or stitching going across any part of the boot that matters where it flexes. So it literally shapes your foot like a sock. You have the laces that run all the way down to the toe so you can adjust the tension throughout the various parts of the boot. But more importantly, there's no seams to fail, there's no seams for pressure, there's no high wear spots. But you look at the monkey boot compared to the mountain boot that's hole cut, it's basically the exact same thing, but instead of that hole cut going all the way to the back, they stop it where the boot stops flexing. Because you're not really gonna get any flex past this part of the boot, and so you don't really need that hole cut aspect in the remainder of the boot. And so it's kind of like you took the best attributes out of a hole cut boot and applied it to the part where it actually matters. So it is a cool style of boot, but that's the basic DNA of a monkey boot. These we pared down to 3 like more old school original ones and 3 modern ones that you can probably get your hands on. So what are these boots? For the boots that you can actually get, we got a pair of Grafters with this boot information. You can still kind of find these here and there. They range around $100, but here's your various price points. We've got these monkey boots with this boot information. And the third boot that you can actually still get that's a true monkey boot is the Doc Martens with this boot information. Because keep in mind, this is all for research for this monkey boot that we are launching with Goral. These 4 colors with the new yellow core, the lightning core. Look how sick that turned out. Isn't that so sick? But I'll cut these in half in a separate video. I didn't want to clog this video up with promoting this monkey boot. I wanted to keep this one pretty pure, but I also thought it'd be a really cool opportunity to show you guys when I'm doing a collaboration, what's the kind of research we do and why do we do it? How do we come up with what we're doing? So these drop today, and I'll sprinkle in a little more information as we go throughout the video. So for the 3 that we have that aren't available, but that are older, because I didn't want just all the modern ones, because you're starting to get away from the original boot, and who knows what brands have done to kind of make it different, in the same way I'm doing with my monkey boots. These brands probably do a similar thing. And so I wanted to back it up with some closer to the original, some older, some vintage pairs, because it's a little bit closer to the original translation. Up first, this is probably the most modern of the older boots, but you still can't get it, unfortunately. This is a pair of Tucks with this boot information. This is probably the coolest one, but it's literally the size of my hand. This boot is really, really cool. This is I think one of the only ones that's truly 2, like basically hole cut boots put together because there's no seam through here. Final one, I almost didn't buy this boot. And then we got it in hand and I was like, did we accidentally stumble upon an original like monkey boot? I don't, because it's hard to say because there's so little information. That's what we'll go over next, is the limited amount of information there is on the internet with the monkey boots. So we'll get into this a little bit more because this vintage one might be the highest quality out of all of them. So what is a monkey boot? What is the original story? Because we did a little research on this and there's not many sources out there that you can really rely on. I think Heddles has a write-up about it. Give this a full read because I love Heddles. They're kind of the OGs in heritage footwear reviewing on the internet, and they're one of the resources I first started using when I started learning about footwear for this channel. This is the alleged history, thought to have been first created in Czechoslovakia as a military military footwear. The monkey boot served its country proudly, that is until Nazi Germany took over, dissolved the Czech military, and likely stopped the distribution and production of said boot. It's theorized that the pre-war stockpile was eventually liquidated after World War II throughout the continent, including surplus stores in Britain, a place that, like the US, subverts drab functionality of military garb and made it their own. A monkey boot is a leather laced toe boot with the goal-like M stitch on the side. Once again, we try to do a ton of research on this and it's so hard to find information, but my assumption is this stitch is made to sew in that lining. Because it's a hole cut forefoot of the boot, that lining would just kind of be floating on the inside. It'd be tacked in here and here, but all this area here, it could easily separate and all of a sudden you have like a floppy lining on the inside. So that's the best shot we've got at a true monkey boot. But you can see even the ones that they're plugging here, we got a really cool one from Unmarked. I think they're an Indonesian brand, but that's more of the Soul Bear style. Craft and Glory, the Indian company, very Americana copying branding. That's more like that style too. Same with this style from my guy, John Lofgren, one of the coolest boot makers in the whole world. This is the original monkey boot, but everyone else makes this style of monkey boot. And that's why I was like so keen on making one, but also figuring out why they don't make them and who makes the right ones, who makes the wrong ones. So now let's start going through them one by one, starting with the more historical ones. Let's start with the tux first, because this is the most recent one that's available. And you can see it's got that same seamless panel here. It's got a different backstay where it just comes together where there is no backstay. There's not that asymmetrical patch right here. As far as I can tell, it's a very basic stitch down construction, a removable insole, and looks like a rubber midsole. So very basic shoe, you know, not a lot to it, but that's part of the value of these shoes is they're really cheap, they're really affordable, they're really lightweight, they're flexible, and you can wear them just about anywhere because of that tready sole. So now let's cut these in half, see what's on the inside, and start comparing all these different boots. So now, let's see what's inside the tux. So as you can see, very basic, exactly what we expected. Very cheap lining on the inside. It's just like a jersey lining. Got a very basic insole, and then you just have that rubber midsole and then a egg crate style rubber outsole. So very basic, about as basic as it gets. And you're gonna see a lot of commonalities between these, and that's part of why with our monkey boot, we went a little different direction and really leaned into that flexibility, that versatility of it, but doing it in the Goral way with the Blake stitch. Because if you look underneath it here, I put my little saddle sole in there, a little upgrade on that boot. You can see that Blake stitch right there, the veg tan insole. And so that's part of why I wanted to do it different, because I think you're gonna see here that almost none of them are built to any kind of quality, which I said is kind of the point. But if you look at this boot that I really, really loved, this boot's one of the higher quality ones, even though it's a little teeny like kid boot. This one's probably the coolest out of all of them, because you've got the wide toe box, you've still got that seamless front, but you also have that hole cut back and the hole cut front. You've got that true counter, but it's not asymmetrical. It runs all the way through. It looks like a leather lasting board on the inside, which would be insane. And this is also built by, whatever that word is in there, which I think is one of the actual original manufacturers, but I think this is a later manufactured boot because this is not a stitch down construction. That looks like a plastic welt. So let's cut this in half and see what's on the inside. So now let's see what's inside the baby monkey boot that looks so freaking comfy. So is it leather on the inside? I think it's leather board. You know, it might just be a fiberboard, but I'm pretty sure that's leather in there. Do a little lighter test, see if it smells like paper or burning flesh. It smells like a cigarette, actually. It's a tobacco lasting board. I think it's a leather board. I think it's a mixture of leather and other materials. But the cool thing is we might be able to decipher some dates from this, potentially, but I don't know which one the date would be. There might be a date in there, so if anyone's a big code breaker, tell me what that means. But this boot is so good. I really like this boot because you've got that leather board internal counter cover, you got a fake leather internal lining on half of the shoe, you got a canvas lining the forefoot, you've got two lasting boards this time. Instead of just that rubber midsole, you've got that leather board midsole and a more foam rubber midsole. So this one is a little bit better than the tux, actually. I think this is gonna be kind of the surprise of the video. And I just love the wide toe box of it. Like I wanna just copy this exact toe box and put it on the Roseanne Blast, to be honest. I think it looks so good. And then for the final historical one, this boot I almost didn't buy because it was all beat up and it was like, I don't know, it seems like it might not be the right boot. But then when we got it in hand, I realized it has a leather lasting board. And the leather is in pretty decent shape. You know, it's fairly thick. It's mostly leather because its collar looks like it's a fake leather or a synthetic material. The internal counter cover is leather. And then it looks like it has a leather midsole. But the only problem is this looks like another plastic welt. And I don't think they were doing plastic welts in Czechoslovakia during during World War II. So let's cut this in half, see what's on the inside, and see if it is an original, because the one we cut in half actually has some date stamps on it. What's inside, potentially as close to the original, if not the original monkey boot? Let's find out. So I think it seems like from that date stamp, it's around that era, unless I'm decoding that stamp wrong. But you can see it's fairly well thought out, because you've got a leather lining in the toe, you've got that cotton twill lining through that M shape, and that's why I think that's made to lock that in there, is that M shape, because you can see it's sewn all the way through, tacking that lining in where it's not glued in, and it could easily delaminate and cause some issues on the inside of the boot. Isn't that crazy? A full leather lasting board with the stamp on it and a leather heel counter. This boot is freaking good. But if you look really closely, it is actually a stitched down construction, because if you see how this upper leather flares out there and is sewn down, but looks like there's a plastic welt on top of it. So I'm wondering if it's been resold. I have no idea, but the date stamp makes me think it's close. The age of the leather, the quality, the extra bits and bobs that you wouldn't really get from a really cheap reproduction. I think this is as close to the original as we found. And so that's why another big part of the reason I wanted to do the Gorals, because they're known for that veg tan leather insole that's Blake stitched down. And because all of them are so similar, I didn't want to just do another classic stitch down, because all these are basically stitched down. And there's some modern boots that you can actually still get that are a stitched down construction, like the Grafters. And this is really, really close to the original. Stitched down construction, same M-shaped pattern there. You've actually got the true half counter cover on the inside, and then no counter on the outside, or like the external counter cover. You've got the seamless toe, but then when you start looking on the inside, that's where these remakes are a lot cheaper than the originals. You know, you can see how similar they are, but instead of leather on the inside, you've got this really cheap, gross, like flannel lining on the inside. It's padded. It's got a semi-removable insole. It's glued down in there. So out of the modern boots, this one is for sure the most similar to the original, except for the inside. So now let's cut it in half and see how wrong it is on the inside. All right, let's see what's in the Grafters. So as you can see, it is cheaper. So this is like a modern reproduction, because you can see that heel counter is a fake leather, that cheap lining is no good. You got another cheaper lining in the forefoot. That looks like fake leather for the eye stays. And so what they've done is they've taken the look of the original monkey boot and then just made everything cheaper to make it a more affordable, more accessible boot, which is part of this boot's whole value. But if you're looking for a really high quality monkey boot, this is not the one for you. You can still get them, they're like 70 bucks, they're pretty cheap, they have the look, but you can see it's just a very basic construction. It's very similar to that really cheap Tux. So I would say the Tux and the Grafters are very similar quality. They're almost the same boot through and through. But for an affordable little $70 boot, it's not a bad boot if you're looking for that monkey boot style. Into this boot, which is somewhat available online. I think there's limited quantities. Maybe it's old stock, but this boot I had a lot of hope for too, because it's very close to the original. It has that asymmetrical counter. It's got the two caps on it here, or you've got the seamless toe, you've got the M shape, you've got the laced toe, you've got the wedge sole, slightly different on the sole, but still similar kind of vibes and look to it. Stitched down construction, looks like a synthetic midsole, and here's all your leather specs. So pretty thin, and it is a true suede, which is why it's so baggy and like it doesn't really hold its shape compared to even a leather that has a finish on top. It's gonna be more comfortable, it's gonna be more breathable, it's gonna be more lightweight, but it's a really, really cheap thin leather, and it's suede. So now let's cut these in half and see if there's anything better on these. Okay, now let's see what's inside. So lots of voids in this heel, which I'm fine with because a lot of sneakers have voids, this egg crate style sole, but you gotta have something firm on top of it to support the squish of that. And fortunately, this boot has a pretty firm lasting board. It's really similar to the fiber board that Jim Green uses in their boots. Like you can see another fake counter cover, completely unlined, which I like, but it's a really thin suede leather that has a lot of stretch. And so it would have been nice to have some lining in there. And that's why most unlined boots, you don't see suede because they're so unstructured and floppy. But once again, pretty cheap. For a wedge sole, you usually want a softer compound because you have a lot of material to wear through, but this is like soft compound with a lot of voids. And so when you start wearing through that, the boot's basically shot. It's not the worst crime for sure. You know, it's not, especially for the price, it's not that big of a deal, but it's not the highest quality monkey boot you can buy by any means. But the one boot that might be worth it is a boot that we basically built the brand off talking about, which is Doc Marten. And as you can see, it's the classic Doc Marten leather with that really heavy, almost plasticky coating on top. But they did a really good job of getting it true to the original, because you that asymmetrical counter, seamless through the toe, the M shape, unlined. And this leather's pretty good Doc Marten leather, all things considered. You know, it's still got the plastic coating on top, but it's fairly thick. It did pretty well on all the tests. And a lot of people like Doc Martens because it is that solid color all the way through. But over time, the problem with the top coat, that's really plasticky and kind of rubberized, shrinks and moves at a different rate than the leather underneath, so it causes delamination, and that's why probably if you have a pair of Docs, you have plenty of delamination of that top coat coming off. It's not a leather built for longevity, it's a leather built for aesthetics for a short period of time. And so now I'm curious, is this built like all the other Doc Martens, or is there something special about these Docs that make them somewhat elevated amongst all the other really cheap Doc Marten boots out there? Okay, we got it cut in half, so let's see what Doc Marten did for one of the true historical British boots. Also, look at that. You can see how much that plastic top coat fizzles and bubbles and starts separating just from the heat. That's cool. So now, let's see what's inside. So basically the same as a regular Doc Marten, but they do have that better fiber-based midsole rather than the foam. You still got that patch of foam in the forefoot, a nice thick lasting board with that fiber board, a glued in insole topper that is full leather with a little bit of foam in the heel. So honestly, not bad for Doc Marten. That's a pretty solid boot especially for Doc Marten, but you can see it's still plagued with all the Doc Marten BS with the fake heel counter. I'm like, if you're gonna go this far to leather line it and all this stuff, why would you put a fake counter in there? Like, that's the one spot that's gonna wear out, and that's the one piece they cheaped out on. But not bad, it's a really good option. If you want a nice monkey boot that looks good, that's gonna wear well, it's gonna be fairly comfortable. Like, if you like the feel of Doc Martens, it's gonna feel just like it, but it's also really big and baggy like a pair of Doc Martens. You know, I don't know why Doc Martens makes their boots so big, but you can see just like how much more volume is in the Doc Martens compared to any of the other monkey boots. But this is a really, really good option. But at the same time, it's not as true to the original because it's not a stitch down, it's just that heat sealed welt that Doc Marten does, where it's kind of a Goodyear welt where it ties in through there. But honestly, not a terrible option at all. So now that we've gone through everything, let's rank these, figure out which ones are the best, which ones you might want to avoid. Let's start with the boots you can actually buy. So out of these three boots, the Doc Martens, the Grafters, and this boot, which one would I buy? If money wasn't an issue, I'd probably buy the Doc Martens because it's a good, reliable boot. It's classic Doc Marten. It's gonna wear like Doc Martens. It's also gonna have the flaws of Doc Martens, and it's more expensive than the other two, and it's a little bit further away from the original. But this is probably the best option, honestly, which pains me to say. And then I'd probably go with the Grafters. It's cheap, it's affordable, but I think it's a little bit better built than this version. I think the leather, not necessarily better, but it's gonna be better for wear. The outsole's more aggressive. It's not as baggy as the suede leather. So I'd probably put this one next, and then this would be my last option. What about the old school pairs? I think this one's pretty obvious. This one that's really close to the original, if not the original, is probably the best boot out of all of them. You know, if you're not talking about which ones you can buy and which ones you are historical and all this stuff, if you're just looking at it, which is the best boot, this is the best boot, which is so crazy that the boot that's the oldest and closest to the original is the absolute best in basically every single way. It's got the veg tan insole, it's got the leather heel counter, it's unlined, it's got the leather lining in the toe, it's got the right outsole, it's got a leather midsole, it's stitched down construction. This is a good boot. And then I would probably say next would be, I'd probably put this one next. There's an easy case to say Doc Martens probably in front of that, but I like the wide toe box. I like how close to the original. I like the leather components. You know, it's probably still cheaper than Doc Martens, but then I put Doc Martens next. Then probably the Grafters, then probably the Tucks, and then this one. So that's how I'd rank them. So that should be all the information you need to know about all the available monkey boots on the market, including in the context of the historical boots. But like I said in the beginning, this was research for this boot. And so that's why I was really keen on working with Goral on this, because I didn't want to just make what everyone was doing. There's already a Goodyear welt-ish version. There's already a couple stitch down versions, but nobody makes a Blake stitch version. And I think we nailed it. So if you want to see this cut in half, that comes out on Monday. You know, we do this kind of in the background. We're doing these collaborations. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to bring you guys along for the ride. So let me know what you thought of this style of video. What information did we not cover enough? What information was too much information? Because I'm gonna start doing these more because it's fun to do. Honestly, when it comes down to it, sometimes we have to be really secretive about what we're doing, including the saddle soles, because people love taking our ideas and beating us to the punch or trying to copy them. But now I think we're at a point where we can show you guys the behind the scenes and how we do things. So let me know what you thought of this, and thank you guys for all your support. Don't forget about the Goral Monkey Boot collaboration that dropped today, if they're still in stock. If you missed them, don't worry, we'll probably bring them back for another drop at some point. But that's why you gotta be on that limited edition email list, because you get the early access, you get all the sizing guide stuff, get everything you need to know to order a pair of the Goral Monkey Boots. If the Goral Monkey Boots are a little too rich for you, you got some really good affordable options and like a mid-tier option, and now you got the Goral option. So thank you guys for all your support. Check those out below, and that's it. See ya.